Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today in this video we're going to be talking about the zodiac sign of Capricorn as an ascendant. So if you have in the first house of your birth chart, if you have Capricorn as the first zodiac sign in the first house, then Capricorn is your ascendant, and this is the video for you. This is the video that you have to watch. And so what is the ascendant? Before I come down to that, for those who haven't subscribed yet, just a reminder, remember to subscribe and remember to tap the bell icon, because otherwise you're going to be missing out on all the great uploads that I'm going to be doing. So there's loads and loads of things that I intend to do here, like tarot, like numerology, and like Vastu. So there's so much that I like to share with you guys. So remember to subscribe, remember to tap the bell icon, and then we can be connected for a longer period of time, and you'd be getting all the notifications for all the great uploads. So great. So today we're talking about Capricorn as the ascendant sign. I've done the first 9 zodiacs. I've covered up to Sagittarius. So if you have, right from Aries to Sagittarius, if you have any of those as your ascendants, you can check out the link that I'm going to be giving at the end, and you can watch one, whichever zodiac you'd like to watch. And so what do we mean by the ascendant? How is the ascendant decided? So when you're born, whenever you go check your horoscope, or whenever you ask an astrologer to check your horoscope, you give your time, date and place of birth, right? So the time, date and place, wherever you were born at that particular time on the eastern horizon, whichever zodiac was rising is your ascendant sign. And whichever zodiac was in fact on the western horizon is the sign that will fall in your 7th house. So just to explain, the ascendant is the sign that is rising in the eastern horizon at the time of your birth, and that forms your first house. So if it was Taurus on the eastern horizon that was rising at the time of your birth, your first house would say Taurus, or number 2, because Taurus is the second sign. Similarly, if it was Capricorn that was rising on the eastern horizon at the time of your birth, in your horoscope or in your birth chart, in the first house it would say Capricorn, or it would say number 10, because Capricorn is the 10th sign. So that is how an ascendant is decided, and that is how an ascendant is placed in the horoscope. So well, let's suppose you are a Capricorn ascendant, or whoever you're watching this video for. Let's see what that person is like, basically like. See, what happens is after the ascendant is decided, the ascendant lord is going to be placed somewhere. So Saturn is the ascendant lord of the zodiac of Capricorn, and Saturn is going to be placed in some other house, or maybe in the first house, and Saturn is going to be aspected by the planets, or it may be conjunct with other planets, and there could be other planets posited in the first house in the sign of Capricorn, or there could be other planets aspecting the sign of Capricorn. So all that will make a difference in the personality. Today we are only discussing Capricorn as the ascendant. We will not talk about the other variables. Of course, I'm going to be making videos later on about everything, about the planets in the first house and where your first lord is placed and what all that means. We will come down to all that gradually. This is just the beginning. So while talking about Capricorn, so in the natural zodiac, Capricorn is the 10th sign. It falls in the natural 10th house of the natural zodiac. And what is the 10th house about? We all know that. 10th house is the Karam Sthan. It's the house where we see your work from. Not just your profession, it's your work. Your attitude towards work is also seen from the 10th house. The way people will see you related to your work, and the way you will work, and how comfortable or how uncomfortable, how stable or how unstable you will be related to your work. So depends on the sign and the planets posited in the 10th house and the planets aspecting the 10th house. All will decide the way you work, not just your profession. Profession is also seen from many other houses. So well, let's suppose this 10th house here in this case has come to the first house. So what has come to the first house? Your work has come to the first house. Your action has come to the first house. Your karam has come to the first house. So what is the most important thing in the zodiac of Capricorn? It is karam, it is action, it is work, it is responsibility. So we talked about the sign, all the other signs up to the 9th house. So I'll just give an example. In case of this zodiac of Cancer, if it was the Cancer ascendant, it was the 4th house that was coming in the ascendant. So all the 4th house things became very important for the ascendant of Cancer. Similarly here, all the 10th house things have become very, 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 very important for the ascendant sign of Cancer. So what is the 10th house? 10th house is of course it's work. So Capricorns basically know that they have to work in order to achieve, in order to survive. They do not believe in the luck factor too much. They do not feel that they will be very lucky, that they will just get things by doing nothing. They know they will have to work to achieve, and they believe in working. They believe in consistency. They believe in completing a task. And for what? Why do we work? Other than working, the 10th house also is the house that shows success, the house that shows status, position. So Capricorn, for the ascendant sign of Capricorn, status and position are equally important. They work because they want status, they want position, they want name, they want fame, they want to be known. And for that, they are ready to work to whatever extent. And if you are an ascendant sign of Capricorn, then responsibility and work will just come to you. I mean, it will not be a choice. It will just come to you. And people will see you as somebody who accepts responsibility, who accepts work in a very, very positive manner. So you may feel very tired. It sometimes may be very tiring for you, but you will not show that you're tired or you're irritated or you have kind of worn out. You will not show it. You will try and consistently work towards your goal, because the 10th house is the house of achievement, for success, for growth, for status, for name, and all that is done with the help of work. So Capricorns know that this is what they have to do in life. They are very clear about that. They will not sit and wait around for things to happen for them. They will go out and make things happen for themselves. So if you talk about the symbols that represent the zodiac sign of Capricorn, so the first symbol is a mountain goat. In fact, it's a sea goat with the head of a mountain goat, and I think the tail is of a fish or a crocodile. So the crocodile here also represents an element of cleverness. The crocodile is a clever animal. What does a crocodile do? What does an alligator do? He would just quietly wait in the water, waiting for somebody, and he would not show that he's present there in the water, and he would wait for his prey to enter the water, and suddenly he would grab the prey by its neck. So there is an element of cleverness in the zodiac sign of Capricorn. When and if they have decided a target, they will quietly wait their while. They will be very secretive. Like a Capricorn, they will not talk too much about their ambitions. They will be very clever. They will be very quiet. They will wait their while quietly in the water, not showing their position, not showing their resources that are available to them, to their enemies. They will not show anything. They will not show to their prey that they have all these resources, that they are ready to attack and win and achieve and get that status. They are totally, focused towards their goals, and they will quietly wait their while for the right time to attack and win. So that is one of the basic qualities of the zodiac sign of Capricorn, sometimes because of which Capricorns are also said to be secretive. So the word secretive is associated with the zodiac sign of Capricorn. Secretive as in they do not talk about their ambitions too much. They do not talk about their inner feelings also too much. They do not talk about the fact. Sometimes they don't like to, share their ambition with other people. They don't like to tell other people that these are their ambitions, because there is always a fear of failure also in the sign of Capricorn. They fear failure. Why do they fear failure? Because the ruler of Capricorn is Saturn. And Saturn is the planet that brings limitations, that causes limitations. Wherever Saturn is posited and wherever Saturn is aspecting, it causes limitations related to that house. So Saturn here is ruling the first house, and Saturn will bring that feeling of limitations, constrictions, restraints to the zodiac of Capricorn. So even though ambition is extremely important to them, even though they are work oriented, hardworking, consistent, but the fear of failure, the fear of restrictions are always going to be in them, because of which they will not talk and share too much about their ambition. They will quietly wait. They will keep preparing for whatever they want to achieve. They will keep preparing quietly. They will be planning, and they will be watching, and they will be preparing, and they will not tell what they are doing. And at the right moment, they will jump onto the situation, and they will achieve. Totally achievement oriented. In this present yuga, this is the most achievement oriented sign. In today's world, this is the most achievement oriented sign. So okay, now talking about the other aspect of the symbol, the sea goat. So the head is of mountain goat and the tail is of fish. So that is the sea goat. So the head, which is the mountain goat. Now what do we understand from a mountain goat? What is a mountain goat like? If you've ever watched a mountain goat on TV, maybe otherwise. So a mountain goat, what it does is it likes to keep climbing higher and higher. If you watch a goat climbing a mountain, sometimes you may just worry that it may slip its foot, that it may fall off from the cliff, because sometimes where it puts its foot, it doesn't even seem there's any place there to put the foot on, and we may feel a little afraid or worried for the goat. But actually the goat rarely falls. It never really falls. It knows exactly what it's doing. So it's very sure-footed. So it's climbing higher and higher and higher. Normally the mountain goat keeps climbing higher and higher. So it is ambitious. It shows heights. It shows heights and it shows an ambition. The goat has an ambition to reach a higher level. Similarly, the Capricorns have an ambition to keep reaching higher levels. And like the goat, it's putting its foot on all the places which do not seem to exist. The Capricorn people are ready to take risks to achieve that aim of theirs, whatever they've decided on. So they will take risks to achieve that aim. But this risk will be a very calculated risk. Like I just said, it's very rare that the Capricorn people, the goat actually, it's very rare that the goat really falls. So similarly, the Capricorn people usually take very calculated risks. Of course, the dashas, the transits, and the other impact on the personality will change the personality a little bit, but generally they are very sure-footed. So ambition is there, risk-taking capacity is there, calculated risks they take. And another thing I've seen in the mountain goat is, unlike the sheep likes to go in herds, go in groups, move in groups. But the mountain goat usually moves on its own. You will see the mountain goat moving on its own. And it's not that it's not social or something. It's just that they have a sense of independence. They have certain aims. They maybe look at a summit on the mountain and they decide that we got to reach that point, and then they don't want to be waiting for the others. They don't want to waste any time. They just want to achieve that point. So they keep moving on their own. So this does bring, if we connect this to the zodiac of Capricorn, or if we connect this to the planet Saturn is also, if well placed, very achievement oriented. It is it's a very focused planet, and it's a very clever planet. And when these people ruled by Saturn, they want to achieve. They will not wait for the others. It's a restricted sign. It's a sign which is in limitations, which brings limitations. So it's not a very social sign. Not that they are really unsocial. It's just that they are achievement oriented and they love their independence. So which would make them look a little unsocial. They may appear to be like that. They will not mix around too much because they are too goal oriented. They are too focused. And then they don't want to wait for others, and they don't want to waste their time doing that. So they will just keep moving towards their goal, and they may appear to be ascendant. Is what we appear to be to others. It's what we come across. It's our persona. So this is the basic nature of the zodiac of Capricorn. Now this sign is an earthy sign. So there are 4 elements. All the signs are divided in 4 elements: earth, fire, air and water. This is an earthy sign, which means it's one of the most grounded, the most practical sign. It's most connected to the ground realities. Saturn people I've seen don't, for them there is no low. For them, they may be sitting in very senior positions. Again, depending, of course, on a lot of other positions in your chart. But if you are a Capricorn Ascendant, or if you are an Aquarius Ascendant, and especially if you have Saturn in the Ascendant, I've seen such people can, do very well in life. Okay, they could be sitting with the Chief Minister of a state and having lunch, and they could be sitting with a poor peasant in the evening and having dinner. So for them, there's no lowly job. There are no lowly people. They take care of the people that work in their house. They take care of them. They won't mind lending a hand to somebody like that. Because of which, the helping hand at home also they like to work for these people, because these people respect them, and in return, the people who are socially on a lower strata, the workers in a house, don't mind helping out at home people ruled by the sign of Capricorn. So these people, like I said, they are very, very clear about the ground realities. It's an earthy sign, very, very practical, very, very connected to the ground realities, very, very materialistic. The earthy signs, all three signs are very, very materialistic. It's a sign which, see, in the 10th house we have the sign of Libra. Capricorn Ascendant, the 10th house would have the sign of Libra. What does that mean? Of course, they are very diplomatic, they are very balanced in their karma, in their profession, in their action, but they also expect a very, very balanced response. They also expect an equal response, like a weighing scale. Whatever action they put into something, they expect an equal return. It's not that they would go on doing something for somebody and they won't expect a return. They would expect an equal amount of return. They will only put in the action somewhere where they think they will get some kind of a return. So they are very materialistic. They are very financially smart. They are great administrators. They are great managers. They know how to manage a big team. See, it's an earthy sign, but at the same time it's a movable sign. Earthy as in materialistic, earthy as in connected to the ground realities, but movable. They want to keep growing. They want to keep learning more. They want to keep achieving. It's not that they've achieved and they're satisfied with it. No, it's not like that. The goat never stops. The goat wants to keep going higher and higher and higher and reaching higher summits every now and then. That's what keeps them happy, and that's what keeps their ego boosted, because this is the 10th house. Status is in the first house. They want status, they want name, they want fame, they want recognition. And now that's the flip side of it, because life is not ever like that. We all have ups and downs. We all have our low phases in life, and where we do not get what we achieve. And so their egos vary a lot. Sometimes they will come across as very arrogant people, very arrogant. When they feel they've achieved whatever they've been trying to achieve, they will come across as very arrogant people. And sometimes when they feel they have not been able to achieve for whatever reasons, they will come across as very, very humble people. So ego and status and fame and name is extremely important to these people, and their ego, their arrogance level will vary to extremes. Extremely arrogant or extremely humble. They could be extremely arrogant or they could be extremely humble. So this will keep varying. Capricorn people also tend to be very mature very early from life. They do not have that childlike quality about them. They are very, very mature. They right from when their childhood, even then they tend to behave in a very mature manner. They are slow in their expression. They are not quick. They will not rush into anything. Like the planet Saturn, they take all the qualities from the planet Saturn. They are slow. They would deliberate on everything. They would be calculative. Like I said, it's a clever sign. It's a materialistic sign. So they would deliberate on anything, and after a lot of deliberation, they would plan and then they would act. And they, as children also, they would be mature and they would be slow in their actions. But life will not, because the sign of Capricorn, the ascendant of Capricorn does tend to go through a lot of hardships in life, generally ruled, because it's ruled by Saturn. So generally they will go through a lot of hardships, and life will teach them to work hard, and they will learn to work hard. As they keep growing older, they will learn to work very hard, and they will learn to accept the hard work in life. They will learn to be very, very practical, like I said. So they will have no quality of children. They will not be childlike in any way. They'll be extremely mature in everything. They will be extremely practical in everything. They will be extremely street smart. Like I said, they have had to go through a lot of hardships in life, a lot of difficult situations in life, because of which they become very street smart. In Hindi, we use a word called jagadu, which means being very street smart. They would know how to manipulate and manage situations and, make things go the way they would like to make things go. It's a zodiac of practical success. And these people, through their hard work, with their hard work, they accept responsibility. They are consistent in their work. They know they got to be consistent. With the help of consistency, with a very dedicated aim and focus in life, they go towards their goals and they achieve their goals. But because this is ruled by Saturn, the sign of Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, these people also tend to easily go into depressions. They easily go into depressions also because for them achievement is important. Now achievement is not possible all the time. We do go through different phases in life, and whenever they are going through a low phase, they tend to go into a state of depression. Another side to the zodiac of Capricorn, to the ascendant of Capricorn, is they have two sides to themselves. The outer, the visible side is the mountain goat, is what we see, the head part. The goat is climbing, achieving, aiming, determined, steady, and when it's achieving, it also comes across as very arrogant, aloof. It likes to be by itself. It's aloof, independent, goal oriented, achievement oriented, sometimes very clever and manipulative. But inside, it is extremely vulnerable, very insecure, and but it doesn't show that inside. And how in the symbols is this inside represented? It's represented by that, by that crocodile, by the water animal, which is usually hidden in the water. The water signs are very emotional, so the water part of this symbol represents emotions. But because that is the lower part of the sea goat, the emotions are usually hidden. They do not show the emotions. What do they show? They show just the head, just the upper part. And the upper part is goal oriented, achievement oriented, and most people see them as arrogant, ambitious, tough. They come across as people who do not need anybody's help, who are independent, who are self-dependent, who are completely on their own. They sometimes don't show their emotions even in relationships. They come across as a little cold, and so they miss out on a lot of great relationships. So even though the zodiac is extremely, this is a zodiac that is always chasing security, a sense of security. All the three earthy signs, we started with Taurus was the first earthy sign, Virgo was the second earthy sign. This is the final earthy sign, Capricorn, where materialistic gains is extremely important, where a sense of security, being practical is extremely important. For them, it's so important that it makes them insecure inside. Inside, they are very insecure. Inside, they're very insecure regarding all this, because of which they put on a tough exterior, because of which they come across as ambitious people, and they're moving and they're focused and they're dedicated. But the interior is extremely insecure and vulnerable, which they usually do not show. So that is what the sign of Capricorn is. Now let's see if we talk about the zodiac of Capricorn. So if Capricorn is the first house, now the second house is the sign of Aquarius. So what does that tell us about their families and about their communication? So for one thing, they will not be very communicative, because Saturn also rules their second house, the sign of Aquarius, and whatever their communication is, they will try to talk intelligent. They will not just say anything for the heck of it. They will only say something where they feel they really need to say something and they know what to say. So the communication will be intellectual, will be very, very limited. They will come from families which are highly intellectual, or families that could also be spiritual. They would be about, because the second house is also wealth, so they would be very wealth conscious. They would want a good bank balance, and all their lives they would be busy saving monies, and they would have a good bank balance. They would constantly be saving money, and they sometimes they spoil their present. They act miserly. They spoil their present in order to save for the future, because Saturn is the planet for depression, for restrictions, for limitations. So for them, they are always worried about limitations regarding their wealth, restrictions regarding their wealth. And so what do? They keep saving for that rainy day. And they sometimes end up not enjoying the present in order to save for the future. Their communication is intellectual, but they would also have an element of double meaning sometimes in their communication. They would be philosophical because both the signs of Aquarius is in the second house and Pisces in the third house, both very philosophical signs. They would be philosophical, intellectual, and also sometimes there would be an element of double meaning, a dual meaning in their communication. In the fourth house, we see the sign of Aries. So wherever the sign of Aries falls, the first house in the natural zodiac, Aries is the first house. So the first house is actually come in the fourth house. So the first house is extremely important, and the sign of Aries is something that we just go for. That, we leave everything else behind. We do not need anybody else, and we just go in for those things. Wherever the sign of Aries is, we are very impulsive about those things, and we are very action oriented about those things, and we put in all our energy regarding those things. So for the sign of Capricorn, they put in the entire energy for vehicles, for property, for home, for a sense of security. So the entire energy, entire effort are for hoarding for all this. They want good cars, they want a good home, they want good property, they want a sense of security, because property gives them a sense of security. The earth factor is very, very important for them. So that is what they do at home. At home, they are, they will put in all the effort for everything related to the fourth house and their home. The sign of Taurus falls in their fifth house, and the sign of Taurus is for accumulation. So they do have a lot of accumulated Venusian creative energy. Now, if we see in the third house, we have the sign of Pisces. In the fifth house, we have the sign of Taurus. So both of these are very creative signs. So there is a lot of creativity in the sign of Capricorn, but they themselves may not express it. They are not very expressive because of Saturn, but they have a lot of creativity in them. So a lot of creative fields could be very suitable for them. A lot of, where creativity is required, those kind of professions are where these people do very well. Then these people, their curiosity is all about diseases, health, and anything related to the sixth house is where they are very curious about, because the sign of Gemini falls in the sixth house, and they're very communicative about, they are with their enemies. In order to sort out issues, they would be very communicative. They would know how to talk and get things done. If they are stuck in a situation, they would know how to talk their way around. Like I said, the second house is also a very intellectual house. The house which rules their speech, the third house, is also philosophical. Very intelligent signs fall in the second and the third house. And the sixth house is, the house of communication for them. Gemini falls in the sixth house. So they're very communicative related to the issues, and they know how to work their way around issues, and they know how to get things done. And their spouses should be and would be emotional, sentimental, caring, nurturing, motherly. In fact, these people themselves are not at all like this, and they see the rest of the world as like this. They feel they are very practical, they are very grounded, but they feel the rest of the world, is like wasting a lot of time on emotions and sentiments and things like that, and the rest of the world is not so practical. But finding an emotional and nurturing and caring spouse is great for them. That is what will balance this extreme energy for them. Then these people, the sun falls in the 8th house. So the sun also represents our ego. So this is another reason why they will have, their self-esteem will have extreme, will be fluctuating in extreme. Sometimes they would feel very confident and to the extent of being arrogant. Sometimes they would be very low. Similarly, their health, because the sun is also the natural indicator of health, their health could sometimes suddenly give them trouble. And the sign of Capricorn, the health issues they would normally have would be related to the knees, to the spine, hair, teeth, and skin. The problems they are more prone to would be related to these few things. So their confidence would keep varying. their confidence would all vary with their profession, because they are very profession oriented, they are very gain oriented. So gains and profession, growth in profession would give them confidence, and whenever they do not do so well, they would lose their confidence. Where religion, tradition, these things are concerned, there they would be very calculative, because the sign of Virgo, which is the extremely calculative sign, falls in the 9th house. So there they're going to be always analytical and calculative and analyzing, why should I do this? If this is what my religion says, then what sense does it make? If this is what tradition says, is it sensible? Why should I do it? So they would be asking a lot of whys where the 9th house is concerned. Like I said, in the 10th house, we have the sign of Libra. So for them, their karam, their action has to give them an equal result. So we have the sign of Libra in the 10th house. The weighing scales, they would always make sure that they get good returns for whatever their action is, for their profession. Then in the 11th house, we have the sign of Scorpio. So like I said, they would be very, very secretive about their ambition. The sign of Scorpio falls in the 11th house. They would be secretive, they would not share, they would be stubborn about their ambitions, they are go-getters, they are not going to accept failure, they would be extremely consistent and determined, like the sign of Scorpio, about their ambitions, and their ambitions don't finish. They keep changing, they keep making new ambitions, and it's a never-ending thing for them. Then in the 12th house falls the sign of Sagittarius. So like I said, these people do not depend too much on luck. They do not depend on luck. They know that they will have to work in order to create the luck factor for themselves. They know they have to work to achieve success. So these people, the Capricorn people, are extremely hardworking. What they should do in order to, these people are actually great. But what can they do is lighten up a little bit, be more positive. Be more like the Sagittarian. So the sign of Sagittarian is in the 12th house, which is the sign of loss, which is the house of loss. So the qualities of Sagittarian, the positivity, the optimism is missing a little bit. These people can be a little pessimistic, prone to depression, too ambitious, less of, less, they are very grounded and materialistic, and they do not bother too much about higher values, higher learning, higher knowledge, and all that is extremely important in our lives, because that does bring a lot of positivity in our life. So if they adopt the qualities of Sagittarius a little bit, if they become more optimistic, if they try and connect more with spirituality, and they be less analytical with their traditions and culture, and be more open, like a Sagittarian is more open, more friendly, more sharing in their emotions. If they are more like that, then they would be happier. So it's sometimes because they do not share so much, they have so much inside of them, but which they keep hidden, and what they show is the tough exterior that makes them go through difficult times. So that is all for the sign of Capricorn. My next video would be for the sign of Aquarius. Remember to subscribe, remember to tap the bell icon. I will see you in the next video now. Bye-bye.